Hello world, Jacob here. Today I've got a special video for you. Today I'm going to be talking about AI agent skills. They're amazing, and if you're not familiar, I have a quick introduction here for what agent skills are and how they are different for something called MCP, Model Context Protocol, if you're familiar. So skills are essentially, in their core essence, they are markdown files with instructions, very succinct and specific instructions for AI agents or AI tools on how to behave, how to follow procedures, and how to execute things that are usually very specific and very targeted. Skills are awesome and they're great and they're becoming really common these days. They're all the rage, but they come with a risk. And the risk is, for example, as you can see here in this article, that they're becoming like the NPM packages. NPM is the way that you install software on computers, is one of the ways. And think of it, it's like an app store. You can download and deploy any skill that you want. For example, front-end skill, design skill, or Humanizer skill. For example, I'm going to show you that later. But they come with a great risk. And I don't know if you've seen this, but there was an article not so long ago, earlier this month, from 1Password talking about the malware attack on ClawHub. ClawHub is the way that OpenClaw, which is an agentic platform, used to be called ClawBot until Anthropic forced them to change the name. There was a massive deployment of malicious skills on this repo that one of the most popular one was actually dangerous. And people deployed it without knowing it. And that, of course, forced ClawHub to create partnership with VirusTotal to help mitigate some of the risk and some of the bad reputation. But still, there are a lot of skills out there on ClawHub and other repositories they're going to show you that still introduce risks. And there are a lot of risks. So how do you tackle them? How do you protect yourself but still enjoy the benefit of skills? Introducing the Universal Skills Manager. This is a skill. It's not an application. It's not a script. It's not a tool. It's essentially a skill that comes with a few scripts that help it to search, install, synchronize, but most importantly, to scan and validate that the skills that you're downloading are safe and they're not malicious. And there is a lot of architecture behind this to make sure that the skill itself is protected, because how do you protect the scanner, right? I'll show you that. Obviously, I'm not a security expert, but community helped me to elevate this to the next level. And it's really sophisticated, as you will see shortly. And one of the ways I want to explain to you the skill is using NotebookLM. So this is a NotebookLM that was created using another project that I'm working on called the NotebookLM MCP and CLI. And everything you're going to see here was created by AI. Not me. I didn't create any of the resources that you're going to be seeing in this next few minutes. I asked AI to import my report documentation, and then I asked it to create multiple resources that I could use for a YouTube video. Essentially, I'm using NotebookLM and the MCP and CLI I created, that also comes with a skill, by the way, to create the content. So I'm doing a mishmash of a couple of my projects. I'm going to use this to show you what you can do. So let me start with a video. Let's take a look in this short video. It's very short, don't worry, 1.5 minutes on what the Universal Skills Manager is all about.
Let's talk about the Universal Skills Manager, a way to tame your AI tools.
So you probably use AI coding tools, right? They're everywhere.
Maybe you've got Claude, Gemini, Cursor, the usual suspects.
Here's the catch. Each one has its own separate skills folder.
What does that mean for you? Skills are all over the place, versions get messy, it's a real headache.
But honestly, just being disorganized isn't even the scariest part of this whole thing.
The real danger?
Most AI skills you download have absolutely zero security checks.
And they get full unrestricted access to your entire system. Let that sink in.
We're talking your terminal, private files, environment variables, even your credentials are at risk.
Okay, so this is exactly the problem the Universal Skills Manager was made to fix.
Think of it like a secure central hub for all your AI coding agent skills. And it works in a really simple 4-step flow: search, scan, install, and sync.
First up, it searches 3 marketplaces at the same time to find the skill you're looking for.
Then, and this is crucial, it runs a deep security scan with over 20 different checks.
It's designed to catch nasty stuff like prompt injection, credential theft, and even shell exploits.
Once a skill passes the scan, it's installed through a secure atomic pipeline, super safe.
And for the final step, it syncs that one secure skill across all your AI tools, automatically.
And right now, this works with more than 10 of the most popular AI tools you're already using.
So what's the catch? There isn't one. It's totally free to use.
Plus, it's 100% open source, so you can see for yourself exactly how it works.
So, the real question is, isn't it time to finally get control of your AI workflow?
So that was one way to explain what the Skills Manager is all about. And of course, I can also show you a slide that was created, and I will share this NotebookLM with everybody, so it'll be in the description. You can go check it out, play the video. There is also audio overview if you want to see more, and a couple of infographics that were created to illustrate essentially what this skill can do and talk about the security risks it's designed to protect you from while still enabling you to leverage the really, really powerful concept of agent skills. So where do we go from here? A demo. Let's start from the beginning. I'll show you everything you can do with the Skills Manager, starting with the installation. I revised this project multiple times. I'm on version 159 and it's almost a couple of weeks old. So a lot of commits and changes and iterations. And I already created the video, but a lot has changed since I did that video. Let's go with the installation. Installing the tool is very simple. You just need to copy this command line and run it on your system. When you do that, it automatically installs on all the tools that you have on your system. We support 10 tools to be specific. And these are the tools that we support for installation, to installing the skill if you decide to install it on all or any of these. And it also has support for Claude Desktop or Claude AI. And when I mean they had support for Claude Desktop or AI, they require a zip of the skill, where others can just take the raw files. So I created a process specifically for Claude, and I'll show you that today in the demo. And if you don't want to install for every tool and you want to be very specific, you can simply select this command over here that tells it to install it on a specific tool. So let me just use this one. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to install it with the -- tools only for Claude Code in this case. So I'm going to go back into over here. Let me clear the screen, run this command. Now it's going to download, it's going to show that it detected other tools that are indeed installed on my system. And it's also noticed that it requires an API key for one of the providers. We support 3 providers, the SkillsMP, which right now they have over 200,000 skills to choose from. It's also support SkillHub, which they have 187,000 skills. And lastly is ClawHub, which is usually dedicated to OpenClaw, the agent, if you heard of it. And currently they have less because I think they learned their lesson and they're trying to be very cautious with the skills they add. But if I'll go back into the skill installation, you'll see it asks me if I want to set up my API key for MP. And let me show you how easy it is to take that key. So I'm going to go here. I'm already logged in with my Google account, and I will go into the API. And you can see here, I have the option to generate a key. It's completely free, nothing to pay. You just generate a key. And here's my key, which will be deleted after this video. I'm going to go back into the installation. I will say yes. and I will paste the key. And that's it. So it says it installed it in one tool and it's on Claude. So let's launch Claude. So with Claude, as you can see, there is two ways to invoke it. One way is just to ask it, can you please invoke the Universal Skills Manager? Or you can do skills, for example, if you want to see your skills. And these are all the skills. And over here is the Universal Skills Manager. But I will just invoke it with the / command, Universal Skills Manager. And that will trigger Claude to read the skill, understand what it can do. So as I mentioned, one of the way is to ask it to search. You can see it's scanning all my environment, looking for any information on Claude and Codex. It's being proactive here. So it's doing things without even asking me, just kind of to get a sense, the lay of the land of what's available on the system from skills perspective. What you can see, it already gave me a report of my system without even asking, just being proactive. So it can tell me which skills I have on my system, on which application that I have currently installed, and show me everything. So for example, I could ask it, can you please deploy the Humanizer skill across all my available applications? So now you'll see in this report, I didn't have it on Codex, I didn't have it on OpenClaw, and Climb, which I have installed. And now it's going to ask me, do you want to do it? It's just going to be a simple copy. But again, these are skills that I installed on my system. And there we go. So the Humanizer skill is synchronized across all the system. So now let's ask it to download a Humanizer. But I want to show you, there's a reason I'm going to ask for it, because I experienced some issues when I was testing it, and you'll see how we can fix this. Can you please search on SkillsMP for the Humanizer skill? And by default, if you didn't provide the API key, it will try to search for it. So now it's searching for it, and it's going to execute a search against SkillsMP and try to identify any skill that is available. And the process it's going to happen, it's going to go there, it's going to ask where is that skill available on SkillsMP. Once it identifies essentially what SkillsMP is and the other repos, they just simply link to GitHub repos. This is how they import skills from across the world. And you can see it detected a few skills. Can you download the Humanizer skill created by Davila7, but download it for Claude Desktop? So now what I'm going to show you, how it will identify a skill, it will try to download it, and I'll see what it's going to tell me. There we go. So it found skill with really high stars. And I'm going to click yes. Okay, so first of all, security scan, info level, I will let it download. So nothing special was detected, and it's doing some checks on the skill. Again, now it's in a contained environment. You can see it didn't deploy it to the environment, and it detected a few errors in this skill. And the reason it's saying that is because, let me tell him something else. I don't want it to fix it, because what it's doing right now, it knows I need to download the skill for Claude Desktop. And Claude Desktop has a very strict checks on the structure of the SkillsMD file, which will reject this skill. And I'll show you. What I'm going to ask it to, can you please download it in two versions? One is the raw zip file for the skill, and the second is the fixed version. Put them both in my download folder. So it's going to follow my instructions, hopefully. Okay, so you can see I have two skills available. The original, unmodified, and then the Claude Desktop ready. So for example, if you try to download the skill by yourself and zip it, thinking it will work, you will get this particular error. And how do you add skills to Claude Desktop? Start from here, for example. So this is the Claude Desktop. I will go into my username, settings, and you have the capabilities section. Over here, you can see that we have the skills. This is where I can add, you can search for Anthropic's built-in skills, which come from their approved repo. Or you can add, you can create, you can write your own instructions, or you can upload a skill. And this is what we're going to try to do. So let's start to drive, upload the first one for my download. So I'm going to take the raw. And this is what you would see if you try to deploy it by yourself. So obviously it's not working. And then I will do the fixed version. And now I added the Humanizer skill to Claude Desktop. And the same thing could be done if you want to do it, for example, on Claude on the web, the Claude.ai. So this is just a glimpse of what you can do. I could search for other skills. For example, I could go back and ask Claude, can you please show me the top 10 skills on ClawHub? Let's see what we get there. Oh, it got SkillHub. Okay, let's go with that. So now it's going to search there. It's going to sort the information and show me which skills are the top skills on this platform. And it's getting the raw information, but it will format it for me so I can see clearly, probably in a table format. And there we go. So you can see the top skills. That's very interesting, are from Facebook. So these are all development-oriented skills that are available for everyone. And the high skills is because they're coming from the same repo. So this same repo has multiple skills, but doesn't mean, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky and you have to be really careful. These stars are not necessarily for the individual skills. They're stars for the main repo, and these are just elements in that repo. That's great. So let's do the same thing. What are the top 5 skills on ClawHub? And there you have it. So these are the top skills. Oh, and let's do something else. Can you search for the Universal Skills Manager on SkillsMP? So let's see if my skill is on this repo. Yeah, I can see it there. And there you go. So this is Universal Skills Manager. It's available on OpenClaw or ClawHub, depends who you ask. You can get it from there. So you have multiple options to get the desired skills. That's what I wanted to show you. I really encourage you to try this skill, install it. It should be your first skill that you install. As you saw, you only need the API if you choose to use the SkillsMP.com, the marketplace repo. But if you don't want to bother with APIs, you just want to use either the ClawHub or the SkillsHub, you can use it for that. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.
AI spotlight illuminating the future of AI.